Americans are black, and many are wising up and leaving the Democrat plantation. I'm Lyndon Jocelyn, and I'm just saying.
Lyndon Jocelyn commentary.
I'm just saying.
By Humble Amco, 1904 FM 1960 Bypass East in Humble. Folks, I finally get to endorse a person that I've known for decades. Get ready to put his number in your phone. Jay Streckfuss and Humble Transmissions, an Amco dealer. For your car or truck, or if you manage fleet vehicles, call Jay Streckfuss at Humble Transmission, 281-446-0862. That's 281-446-0862. For brakes, AC, drivability, and transmissions, of course, call the guy I take my own car to, and believe me, you'll see why this is my first and only choice. Personal care and the best warranties, 281-446-0862. Tell them Lyndon sent you.
Did you know that 63% of homes contain allergens from cockroaches? And that mice spread potent asthma.
63%
of homes. It's true.
Interesting.
Common household pests are major offenders on the list of indoor allergens. Learn what you can do to help your family breathe easier. Visit pestworld.org. A public service
Pestworld.org.
message from the National Pest Management Association and the Asthma and Allergy Foundation of
Morning, Mom.
The following program, paid for by Right Path Real Estate, does not necessarily represent the views or opinions of the staff, management, or ownership of this station.
But
It's time to get on the right path.
It
with
should.
Right Path Real Estate Radio with Tom Perry. Get the answer to your question that's keeping you from taking action and succeeding today. Get ready. The guide that will put your fears behind you is on the air now. Taking calls at 713-785-1817. Toll free 877-881-0271. Now here's your host, Tom Perry.
Hot mics.
hey, welcome to the show, Right Path Real Estate Radio. Hey, good morning, Daniel. 713-785-1817. 713-785-1817. You know, I have to admit that I get pretty excited talking about building a better future. And then I break down what are all the things that I've learned since I've gotten started in real estate. You know, I had an interest in real estate. I was remembering at this last weekend event that we had, I thought I wanted to be a real estate agent back in college. And so there was this, I think it was my sophomore year, maybe my junior year. I actually took 9 hours at A&M, and I took another 6 hours of real estate courses at Blinn there in College Station, actually in Bryan. And took the test, got my real estate license, and then I interviewed back in the day with Century 21. It's kind of funny because it's about maybe 3 miles from where our office is right now. It was over on Memorial. I remember it was called Blankenship 21. And I interviewed with Miss Blankenship, and you know, it was a straight commission job, and I'd been selling for a long time at that point, you know, long time in my, you know, I was all of about 19 or 20 years old, maybe, I was probably 19. And I'd never worked commission only. I'd sold stuff. I mean, I worked selling yourself as a, you know, for tips as a sacker, you know, I'd sold door to door Boy Scout Jamboree tickets. I'd sold door to door, you know, raffle tickets for the Catholic high school that I went to, you know, those kind of things. But what I realized is that there's a pipeline. So I realized there was a process, and it takes a little while to learn the process. In almost everything in life that you do, there's a process that you've got to learn. If you're going to bake a cake, if you're going to learn how to run. I'm reading a book right now about Mr. Knight that started Nike, and I think it's called Shoe Dog. I'm about maybe a third or halfway through the book, and it's just, you know, there's a process that he went through. He started out as a track athlete at Oregon. That's where he grew up. He, you know, and he learned the process of running. Apparently had a great coach, became a partner in his first, you know, shoe company. And I'm wondering, you know, it's not called Nike, so I'm kind of wondering what the transition is from what it was to Nike. But then I also recognize in real estate, there's a process also. So going back to, you know, I had this interest in going to work for Century 21, and when I worked during the summertime, I didn't have to make a ton of money. I was really, you know, I was fortunate enough that my parents paid for my college. They paid for my room and my board and my tuition and books and all that. It was a lot cheaper to go to school back then. And so really the only money that I made was during the summertime to have some spending money, to be able to go out, go to the movies, go out to dinner, that kind of stuff. Just it was the extra stuff, the disposable income. And what I remember thinking is that if I went full-time real estate and I filled the pipeline, I primed the pump, so to speak, then I would constantly be going back and forth from College Station to Houston to close out the deals, right? And so I walked away from that opportunity, but I look back and I think, man, how different would life have been? And sometimes we have regrets in life, and I wonder if I'd have gotten involved in real estate back, that would have been, like 84, 85, something like that. What would things have been like? And then to have recognized the crash of 86 and then go through 86 and 87 and 88, and to see the up and down cycles. Now, I realize that in real estate, there's a couple of components, part-time psychologist, part-time economist, and then it's really understanding that there's a process. The transaction of buying a house is really pretty easy. I was in the bank the other day, and I heard this guy who was actually showing the bank teller this house that he'd just bought, and he got a really good deal on it, and it's a great big lot and all that. And I asked him the question. I said, hey, is this a house for you to live in, or is this a house as an investment? And he goes, oh, no, this is going to be my primary residence. I'm finally moving out. This guy looked to be about early 40s. He said, I'm finally moving out of being an apartment dweller, and I'm going to own my first house. He was super excited about it. And so here he is going through the process for the very first time, understanding what it is to get a mortgage and down payments and, all of that. And what many people don't realize is to buy a house to flip or to buy a house to wholesale or to buy a house for buy and hold is really not much different. And when you start looking at rates of return, we drive by houses every single day and we're like, we see that people live in those houses. We don't know which ones are people that own the house. We don't know which ones are people that, rent those houses. Everybody needs a place to live. Would people rather live in an apartment or would they rather live in a house? I think given the same choices, most people would rather live in a house, especially if they have families. Now, I know if I were, single and no pets and travel a lot, things like that, maybe an apartment makes more sense because somebody else is doing the maintenance and the yard and things like that. I'm not responsible for any of those things. But, you can get a decent-sized house for about the same size as an apartment from a rental standpoint. I've got a friend of mine that rents a condo right now and is able to, have their own, control over, that whole structure different than they would if they had an apartment. And that's the first step to, a house. You don't have to worry about the yard, but you do have to take care of some of your own repairs and things like that. But then you move into a house, you get a yard, you get, a bigger structure. Instead of just having, most apartments are either 1 bedroom, 1 bath, or 2 bedrooms, 2 baths, or 2-1, things like that. But, most houses are a minimum of 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, right? That's the standard. I know they do make small houses, but, if you get the opportunity to be in the business of housing other people where you can make money 5 different ways, 6 if you count leverage. Anytime that you can leverage your investments, it becomes a math equation where you go, wow. If you were to create a spreadsheet and compare how single-family houses would work towards your retirement dollars, you look at your rates of return, money invested, risk, rates of return, and you compare that with, stocks or bonds or crypto or, any of the other things that you could put your money in. It's amazing how great of an investment is in single-family real estate. Now, I can hear people saying, yeah, but, and I love those comments. Yeah, but what about California where it doesn't really cash flow? And I'm not really talking about, single-family rentals in California. I'm talking about single-family rentals where they can cash flow. Imagine, even if you took the cash flow away, though, with appreciation alone, if you can buy a $150,000 house and you put $120,000 as a loan and put $30,000 down and you're just buying a house at full retail, then you're really controlling a $150,000 asset for only $30,000. So when it appreciates at 5 or 6 or 7%, you're getting the appreciation on the big number, not the little number. And if I look at on appreciation alone, if I can leverage 5 to 1 on a single family house, 7% appreciation becomes 35% appreciation. Most people can get extremely wealthy, growing their net worth 35% year over year, compounded. I mean, that's where you get really, really exciting rates of returns. We've seen people that have seen the value of their property, increase by over $100,000 in just 3 or 4 years, sometimes even 5. I mean, imagine if you had $30,000 in an investment, but it grew in equity to $100,000 in just 5 years. I mean, calculate the rates of return on that. And then you say, okay, well, what's the risk? Normally, if you're going to invest in, let's say, a startup business or something like that, I mean, you look at the number of startups that fail, and you look at the number of IPOs that get listed on the stock market, and then their rates of return are negative or they don't cash flow. They get delisted, they become penny stocks, or they go out of business, they go bankrupt and go broke. You look at those investments and you say, yeah, when they hit, when you get a Facebook or an Amazon or something like that, for every one of those that hits really, really big, we forget about the literally thousands that didn't. And so how do you know which ones are going to hit? So when you look at, yes, there's outsized returns that are possible, but you also, normally when you get outsized returns, you have outsized risk as well. So I think a lot of people it's very easy to look back and say, oh, look, my portfolio, it grew at 15% last year. And you go, okay, well, that's fine. Well, how much risk did you take on in order to do that? And they go, what are you talking about? It's almost like kind of dating, showing my age a little bit, but, when, what you talking about, Willis? You don't really know the risk that you're taking on. And so then you look at single-family houses. I want to talk about risk on the other side, because time after time after time after time, we see people that have invested in single-family real estate. And
1 minute.
You look at the rates of returns that they've been able to get, and we ask about the kind of risk that they took on. Now, again, I'm talking about single-family. I mean, I do know people that have lost money in real estate. Typically, it's been in land that doesn't produce cash flow. So we're going to talk about how appreciation can save you even if you don't buy it right. And we're going to start talking about the process of buying single-family real estate. And this is a very learnable, duplicatable, repeatable process. And you can get started today. You're listening to Right Path Real Estate Radio, 713-785-1817.
Mic's off.
Happy Friday, Mr. Daniel. Hey, Brian, good morning. Good morning. Sebastian. Oh, that's you, Nikki. Hey, Ginger. I'm kind of curious if this... Oh, it does kind of... I was wondering if the green juice blends into the green screen in the background.
Hi, Clint Coons here, attorney and
Aunt
avid
Sherry,
real estate
what's
investor.
up?
You know the greatest mistake
How are ya?
real estate investors make is not understanding the potential liability that exists from owning real estate. At Anderson Business, Legal, and Tax Advisors, we specialize in protecting real estate investors.
Good
in
morning,
all
good
50
morning.
states. In addition to structuring your business for optimum protection, we provide guidance so you pay the least amount of taxes available under the law. We have 150 employees that range from lawyers to CPAs to estate planners and much more.
Fantastic.
Download the free ebook, The Invisible Investor Strategy, today at AndersonAdvisors.com or call for a free risk reduction analysis and financial blueprint at 800-706-4741. Anderson Business Advisors will
It
help
is
you
a good
do
morning.
more of what you earn.
Got a
Call
busy
today,
day?
800-706-4741
Excited about the day?
and mention Right Path Real Estate.
Do you have cracks in your brick, doors that stick, or sheetrock that's coming apart? Then you may have foundation movement. Due to our expansive soils in the Houston area, it's probably not a question of if you have movement, but when. Call Foundation Check for a truly independent, unbiased foundation evaluation. Foundation Check has been in business since 2009 and has completed over 1,400 evaluations. We're not in the business of repairing foundations or selling you unnecessary peer work, but we are in the business of evaluating your foundation. Our product is designed for house flippers, landlords, or even owner-occupied properties. Each of our files is reviewed by a licensed engineer. Remember to check before every repair. Call 346-702-3825. That's 346-702-3825. Or you can reach us online at foundationcheck.com. That's foundationcheck.com.
Time is money in a real estate deal. If your insurance company is slow or non-responsive, you could lose a deal like that. You need a quick turnaround on quotes or binders? The agency for that is Benchmark Insurance Group of Texas. The team at Benchmark understands the investor mindset. They know what you need and when you need it. We're here for you. Are you a rehabber, wholesaler, hold, or flipper? Bundling your properties on a single policy will help save.
Hey, good morning, Sasha.
Benchmark has been in business for over 10 years, and we insure over 30,000 properties. Contact Benchmark.
I was talking about you in the office just recently.
Call us and let us show you what we can do for you at 281-569-4353. That's 281-569-4353. Or online at benchmarkbroker.com. That's benchmarkbroker.com. That's 281-569-4353. Or online at benchmarkbroker.com.
Did you know that there are over $24 trillion in retirement accounts in the U.S.? Imagine if you could use someone's IRA to fund all of your deals. Well, you can. Quest IRA is based locally here in Houston, Texas. At Quest IRA, we offer retirement accounts that can be used to invest in real estate, promissory notes, private entities, and much more. Many of our clients loan money from their IRAs to fund real estate deals all over the country. We don't sell any investments or give advice. However, we do hold free networking events, weekly educational classes, and free consultations with an IRA specialist. For more information, visit our website at questira.com or call us at 1-855-FUN-IRAs. To tap into the $24 trillion in retirement accounts in the U.S., call Quest IRA at 1-855-FUN-IRAs or go to our website, questira.com.
This is Business 1110.
All right, Mr. Perry, hot mics.
Hey, welcome back. Right Path Real Estate Radio, 713-785-1817. 713-785-1817. So if you want to listen on the Book of Faces, you can go to Right Path Real Estate. I'm here on the website. Somebody's giving me some medical advice. I appreciate that. And so, yeah, we can talk about that off the air. Probably don't want to discuss medical history, all that kind of stuff, but I appreciate it. Yeah, I do have a little tickle in my throat from time to time. It seems to be allergy related for the most part. It seems to happen less frequently when I use my Navage, but I haven't used my Navage in a little while, so probably need to get back to doing that, but I appreciate that. So, again, if you want to call in, ask questions, 713-785-1817, 713-785-1817, and we're talking about real estate. And here's what I recognize is that we were able to take several of our students and show them that we're flipping or wholesaling or came in to flip and wholesale and show that when you flip a house, you do some work and then you get paid to do that work. And when you wholesale a house, you wholesale the house and then you get paid for the work that you do. And don't get me wrong, there's some incredible wholesale fees that we've made. You know, got a house in Pasadena under contract for $7,000. We wholesaled it for $43,000. You know, never actually were entitled on the property. We actually just did a double close. We bought a house yesterday. We brought $35,000 and some change to the closing table to buy this house. We're closing it today. for $72,500. So we're getting all of our money back plus, a little bit of profit, practically doubling the money. But once we sell that house, we won't make money on that house again. But imagine if you take a house like that, you buy it for $35,000, $36,000, and in this case, it would have taken about $50,000 to bring it up to rentable condition. So then we'd be in a house for $85,000 that would probably be worth $110,000, something like that rents for $1,200 a month. If we borrowed the money, in a deal like that, we're well below 75% of the after repair value. So on a 110 ARV, you take 75% of that. As long as you're 75% or less below, 110 times 0.75, $82,500. So we might be out of pocket $2,500, $3,000. But even if you're out of pocket $20,000, and then you're only borrowing, $82,500 on the whole deal, on the whole thing. So your principal, interest, taxes, insurance, all of that going to be about $750, $800, let's say, even with property management included there, and let's call it $850. And let's say it rents for $1,200 a month. So you can cash flow about $350 a month, which multiply that times 3, it's close to $4,000, just ballparking it. So at $4,000 on a $15,000, $20,000 of investment, that's a 20% rate of return. You're getting 100% of your money back in 5 years. But wait, there's still more. And no, I'm not selling Ginsu knives, but there really is more. The exciting thing is that $110,000, $120,000 house a year from now is going to go up about 7 or 8%. It's in Dallas. And then it's going to go up another 7% the next year and another 7% the next year, because the reality is no one can go out and build a brand new house as cheap as what I own the house for. In other words, I'd own land and building and everything for all in $85,000, let's call it $90,000 at most. Now, I can't build a house for that cheap. New home construction cost is going to run, on the scale, unless you get up to where you're building 1,000 houses, or even 1,000 houses a year, or 500 houses a year, something like that. Yeah, you can drive the price down to, $85, $90 a square foot, buildable square foot. But on the onesies and twosies that most people are going to be able to, start off with as new home builders, you're looking at $110, $115, $120 a square foot. If you get into custom, $125 a square foot. That's a real significant, number to recognize. And the reason why that's significant is, anytime you were to start a business, you have to worry about, can your competitor come along and build something newer, cheaper than what you own? In the case of single-family real estate, it's not. Now, okay, so related to real estate, somebody's asking a question on Facebook. Is it a good idea to continue to manage the growing equity in my rental properties to use it to add more properties to my portfolio? Great question. Here's, we've got Ryan McCarthy. He runs our PIN program over here, and he says, my parents were really strict when I was growing up. They made me take math every single day. And what's fascinating is that when you own a house free and clear, your cash flow is bigger than if you own a house leveraged. So what I would recommend that you do is you look at what are your rates of return on the money that you have in a house. Just run the numbers. This will be a fascinating exercise. Run the numbers on your appreciation and run the numbers on your cash flow. Let's say that you own a $150,000 house and it's totally free and clear. So in other words, you have 100% equity in the house. So if that house goes up 7% in value, then you're going up $10,500 on that house in terms of value. But you have no leverage, so your 7% appreciation is actually only 7%. But if I put 20% down on a house and finance the other 80%, so I have $30,000 in the house, I have $120,000 worth of equity, so I'm leveraged 5-to-1. Now I'm getting $10,500 at 7% on the 150. I'm getting that 7% on the 150, but I only have $30,000 in it. So I'm getting a 5-to-1 leverage. So my 7% appreciation on my $150,000 of equity grows to 35% appreciation when I only have $30,000 in. So I don't know about you, but I'd rather have 5 houses that I'm getting 35% on in terms of appreciation for that 150 versus just one house that I have $150,000 in. Well, then we look at cash flow. I mean, if I've got, a house that rents for $1,500 a month and I've got, $120,000 mortgage, right? So the mortgage, I'll go to my Carl's calculator. It's a mortgage calculator. You can download it on Facebook or not Facebook, Android or iTunes. Carl with a K. So Carl's mortgage calculator. I'm going to change my numbers in here. $150,000 property value. And I'm going to put a down payment. $150. I know this makes for great radio, me doing a calculator here. Down payment of $30,000. And then I'm going to say 6.5% interest because almost anybody could qualify for something like that as an investment property. And I'm going to say for 30 years, so 30 years, and that's going to be $758.48 a month. Now let's assume that works on a $150,000 house that is rents for $1,500 a month. Well, I'm also going to have insurance of like $100 a month, and I'm going to have taxes of, let's say, $4,500 a year, 3% of a $150,000 house. So let's call it $400 a month. So I've got another, $500 a month in expenses. So I've got $1,258 going out the door, which means that on a $1,500 a month rental rate, minus $1,258, and I think I've been a little high probably on insurance, for example, at $100 a month. That's probably on the high side, but I'm going to net $242 a month times 12. So $242 times 12 is going to be $2,904 a year. But I've only got $30,000 in the house. So in this situation, I'm earning 9.6% rate of return on my cash flow. Now, if I have 5 houses on that, same $150,000, I'm going to have that same amount of money going out. I'm just multiplying. If I have 5 houses, 242 times 5. But if I have one house where it's fully paid for, my cash flow goes way, way up. Because I don't have the $758.48 a month going out. I only have the taxes and the insurance going out on a monthly basis. So I'm going to net about $1,000 a month, which is $12,000 a year. So $12,000 divided by $150,000, I'm making an 8% rate of return. So my cash flow actually goes from 8% on my 150 to 9.6%. But then my appreciation goes from 7% to 35%. And if I had to sacrifice one rate of return, appreciation at 35% or the cash flow at 9.6%, I would give up the cash flow all day long and twice on Sundays. So, yes, does it make sense to continue to manage your growing equity? In other words, I assume you're asking, do you want to refinance out the equity that you build up over time? And the answer is yes and absolutely, provided that you're putting that money back to work in real estate. You're listening to Right Path Real Estate Radio, 713-785-1817, 713-785-1817. Give us a call.
Mike's off.
you expecting to close accurately, on time, and with lots of communication on your home purchase? You've come to the right place. I'm Jennifer Hernandez, Senior Loan Officer with Legacy Mutual Mortgage. Our goal is to give our borrowers and referral partners an amazing experience during the loan process. My team believes in putting people and culture before results. Our company concentrates on building those teams who operate with structure, process, and recognition for going the extra mile for you. This way, we have the energy to make this your best home purchase ever. Give us a call today to find out the simple steps to get started. I'm Jennifer Hernandez, the Hernandez team at Legacy Mutual Mortgage. Jennifer.legacymutual.com or call 713-579-3611. Again, Jennifer.legacymutual.com. We can't wait to consult with you soon. NMLS 514497.
Equal Housing Opportunity Lender. NMLS 514497.
Hello, real estate investors. Do you need a lender that moves fast at the speed of a jet to fund your investment properties? Jet Lending will help you purchase properties quickly with as little cash out of pocket as possible. Jet Lending also sets up a repair escrow fund to help you with repair costs. Jet Lending has originated over 2,000 loans in Texas, valued at over $250 million. Jet Lending will help you evaluate your deals for free and give you feedback on value, cost of repairs, and potential loan amount. Jet Lending is your fast and friendly hard money source for first-time investors and seasoned professionals. Call 281-872-7800 or email us at info@jetlending.com. Oh, and don't forget about our famous Third Wednesday Super Investor Networking Meeting. Lots of fun, lots of great real estate talk. We'll see you there.
You found or inherited a great investment property. Problem is, you don't know how much it's worth, or more importantly, what to do to maximize your investment while mitigating risk. This is exactly why we started Next Gen Appraisals. Next Gen is a group of appraisers specializing in investment real estate. We understand that investors aren't just looking for a number of what their property is worth, but a comprehensive analysis of the market. Give Next Gen a call at 713-346-9911 or check us out online at nextgenappraisals.com.
Taxes. Just the sound of that word makes people cringe. At Anderson Advisors, we provide tax reduction through asset protection for real estate investors throughout the country. Our unique philosophy has CPAs, lawyers, bookkeepers, and estate planners with one common goal, helping you, the real estate investor. Check us out today at AndersonAdvisors.com, and don't forget to tell us you heard about us at Right Path Real Estate.
1 minute.
Are you looking for an investor-friendly general contractor for your investment property? Then call Fast Track Remodeling at 832-742-9992 or reach us on the web at fasttrackremodeling.com.
Fast Track Remodeling specializes in turnkey remodeling of single-family investment properties. Whether it's a flip rehab or a rental rehab, we manage every aspect of a rehab from start to finish with a highly efficient, standardized process.
Over the last 6 years, Fast Track has completed over 700 projects, which has helped us to create our 3 keys to success. Use a detailed scope of work so that everything gets done, train and maintain quality crews so it gets done right, and complete the work in a proper order so it gets done fast.
No more managing it yourself, no more doing the work yourself. Fast Track Remodeling really does manage it all.
So give us a call today at 832-742-9992.
All right, here we go.
832-742-9992 or reach us on the web at fasttrackremodeling.com.
This is Business 1110.
Hot mics.
Hey, welcome back. Apparently I have to talk pretty quickly after the bumper music goes, because if not, then either YouTube or Facebook pick up on that it's a played segment. I guess they don't realize that, you know, you've got copyright rules and all that kind of stuff. And so, you know, here at Right Path, really what we want to do is we want to make a difference in other people's lives. It's bothersome. What I'll tell you is that. I'd use a more inflammatory term because the way I really feel is worse than bothersome. But it saddens me to see the way most people approach retirement. I remember, when I was younger, 20, 21, 22, retirement was so far off, financial freedom was so far off that it just, you put your head down and you go to work and you look up sometime in the future and you hope things are going to be better. But oftentimes, what happens is when you finally lift up and you look around and you see where you are, you still don't like the results. And so we've been talking recently about the retirement calculator and how much it takes if you follow conventional wisdom in order to get to a place where you can financially retire, where you can have that financial freedom. And when you look at that, the rule of 25 says that whatever amount that you want to make on a monthly basis, $5,000, $6,000, $3,000, $10,000, whatever that number is, multiply that times 12 to get to an annual number, and then multiply that number times 25, and you'll get to the number that you need to have in order to be able to retire. I could end the show with that, and then it'd be like a wah-wah. I mean, that would be terrible, wouldn't it? Because the good news is that, let's say that you wanted $3,000 a month. That's $36,000 a year, and based on the rule of 25 says 36,000 times 25. Let's see, I'm gonna do the math. Actually, let's do an easier number. $5,000 a month, 12 months, $60,000 times 25. You need $1.5 million saved up, earning 7% per year. And here's where the mistake happens, is that if you had $1.5 million and you bought single-family real estate, on appreciation alone, you'd be earning 7% per year. But you'd also be earning another 8% on cash flow. We just did the math for Maria because she asked the question on Facebook. You'd have another 8% coming in on cash flow. So you're really making a combined 15% rate of return. So doesn't that mean that you need less to get there? And the answer is yes and absolutely. But when you go and add leverage, imagine if you can make $300 a month per house and you're only $30,000 out of pocket per house. I mean, if you had $1.5 million, in fact, even if you only had $1 million, and I say only, I mean, yeah, it's only $1 million. Divided by $30,000 per house, you could have $33,000 $30,000 per house. You'd be able to buy 33 houses with $1.5 million, leveraged a 5-to-1. So you'd be able to buy 33 $150,000 houses with $1 million, which, when you've got 33 $150,000 houses, so you're essentially controlling almost $5 million worth of real estate for only $1 million. Makes sense, right? It's 5-to-1. You're leveraging 5-to-1. So if you're earning 7%, not on the $1 million that you've got in, but on the $5 million, that's $350,000 of appreciation on $1 million. And you say, but Tom, I don't have $1 million. That's okay. That's okay. Start with what you've got. And we can show you how to wholesale. We can show you how to flip to grow that capital so that then you can buy rental properties so that you can really create wealth and income long-term, leave a legacy. Imagine what you could do with your day if you had enough coming in to replace the money that you're making now. I know some people say, well, Tom, the money I'm making now is not enough to cover my expenses. I really need to take on a part-time job. What if you started part-time? I was talking to somebody yesterday, and they said, I've always wanted to have a food truck. And I said, well, okay, let's do the math on that. Let's start running the math on a food truck. I've run the math on a lot of different businesses. You should be able to spreadsheet out what the business is going to look like before you ever get started. And if you don't have the skill set to know how to do that, find somebody that does and just have them walk through. I remember one time my dad and I, we were looking at buying a Volvo rental equipment franchise. And I started doing the math. I just took their pro forma, their they call it a uniform franchise, UFOC, the Uniform Franchise Offering Circular. And in that, they basically have to show you exactly mathematically how the business works. Well, everybody knows that oftentimes a business runs at a negative cash flow in the first 2 or 3 years, maybe sometimes even 4 or 5. And then it starts, at some point in time, it should turn the corner. Well, I plugged in, there were about, there were like 75 or 100 different variables that you plug in. And I was using their assumptions on this business. And what was fascinating is, of course, it went negative the first 3 years. You were having to borrow a lot of money. You were going into a lot of debt because you were buying a lot of equipment. You were making the monthly payments, all that. And after about 3 years, using some relatively conservative assumptions, good news, the business turned cash flow positive. Well, you don't want to just look at what happens when it goes cash flow positive. You want to look at, as you continue to run the business, year 3, year 4, year 5, year 6, year 7, year 8, what's it look like at year 10? Well, that's where it got kind of grim. At year 5, it turned cash flow negative again and would never, ever return to positive cash flow. So you lost money the first 3 years, you made money the next 2 years, and from that point on, you lost and lost and lost and lost and lost. And what I know is a lot of people bought those franchises. I noticed that they don't franchise them anymore. You can't go buy a Volvo Rents franchise. I presented that information to them, and they are like, well, what do you mean? And I'm like, well, here's the assumptions that y'all gave us in this offering circular. Here's my spreadsheet. Why don't you take a look at it? I felt a little bit like, looking back on it, it reminds me of the seller that you make an offer to buy the house as a retail buyer. And you get an inspector to go through and look at the house, and he points out all the things, the inspector points out the things that are wrong with the house. And then you want to show that to the seller, and guess what? The seller doesn't want to know. They want to stick their head in the sand. They don't want to know. We don't normally want it. When we're selling a house, please don't send the inspection to us. We don't want to know it. You can tell us some of the things that you would like to have repaired or that you'd like to have a credit for, or whatever that is, but I don't want to see the inspection report. And these people didn't want to see the spreadsheet that I had created. What I can tell you is real estate, the math is not that complicated. It's really only, on the piece of real estate itself, it's really only 5 variables. It's what's the house going to be worth when it's fully at full value. We call it the predicted future value, the PFV. Some lenders call it the ARV. It's the after repair value. What's the property worth? Not in its condition, with nasty tile, with appliances that need to be replaced, with countertops that need to be replaced, with a roof that needs to be replaced, with an air conditioning system. Not what's it worth in the condition that it's in. What's it worth once it's all fixed up? You got to be able to determine that. And there's a process. We'll train you how to do that. We talk about it at the free event, just kind of showing how it works. But in fact, our next free event is going to be next Tuesday. You need to go to rightpathrealestate.com, register for that free event. But you got to know how to calculate that predicted future value. The next thing you got to be able to do is you've got to be able to calculate what it is the repair numbers are going to be. And I'm not a guy that grew up with I've got a great dad. Just got to let you know I've got an awesome dad. But my dad was not the kind of guy that's going to say, "Here, son, let me show you how to rebuild a car. Let me show you how to build a fence, or let me show you how to change out this kitchen faucet." He wasn't that guy. He taught me lots of things. He was not the guy that you'd want to call a handyman. So as a result of that, I didn't really develop a skill set. Kind of like father, like son, right? I didn't develop a skill set for being handy around the house. Nothing wrong with that. But when I started a construction company, you don't have to know about how to do construction in order to start a construction company. All you really have to do is know the numbers. And so you don't have to know how the house is built in order to be able to know what it costs to repair the house. Well, I'll tell you, is even building a house, it's not that complicated. There's 55 steps, and it goes in particular order. We've got a printout. We've got a spreadsheet of these are the 55 steps and the order in which it should happen. We make that available to our members. In fact, I even think it's available to club level. We go into a break. How much time do I have, Nikki? I've got 1 minute. Let's 30 seconds, right?
Break.
Yeah. Huh?
Sure, 30 seconds.
Yeah, 30 seconds. Okay.
Go ahead.
So there's 55 steps, and the main thing is you got to know what it's going to cost. And I don't mean like you got to know what tile costs. You got to know what air conditioning. You got to know what you can do for $10 a foot, $20 a foot, $30 a foot, etc. That's really all you got to learn. Then the third thing you got to know is what are your holding costs. And then the fourth thing is you got to know is what's the profit you want to make on the deal. And fifth, last but not least, after you calculate all those, you got to know what your offer price is. So we're going to continue on the other side of the break. You're listening to Right Path Real Estate Radio. Give us a call, 713-785-1817.
Mike's off.
You found or inherited a great investment property. Problem is, you don't know how much it's worth, or more importantly, what to do to maximize your investment while mitigating risk. This is exactly why we started Next Gen Appraisals. Next Gen is a group of appraisers specializing in investment real estate. We understand that investors aren't just looking for a number of what their property is worth, but a comprehensive analysis of the market. Give Next Gen a call at 713-346-9911 or check us out online at nextgenappraisals.com.
Real estate investors, if you're not familiar with Quest IRA, let me tell you what you're missing. We've got free weekly educational classes, networking opportunities, and the ability to tap into trillions of dollars for your real estate investing deals. Come by our office or join us remotely as we simulcast all of our educational classes every Tuesday morning and evening. For more information, call us at 1-855-FUN-IRAs or visit our website at questira.com.
Selecting a foundation company and their product for repair is a lot like a game of chance. You simply don't know what you're going to get. The foundation repair industry as a whole doesn't carry a license, nor is it regulated. However, Foundation Check utilizes professional engineers to review all of our files to give you the best foundation analysis in today's market. Remember to check before every repair. Call 346-702-3825, or you can reach us online at foundationcheck.com.
Time is money in a real estate deal. If your insurance company is slow or non-responsive, you could lose a deal like that. You need a quick turnaround on quotes, binders, and the agency for that is Benchmark Insurance Group of Texas. The team at Benchmark understands the investor mindset. They know what you need and when you need it. It's there for you. Call Houston's leading real estate risk management experts, Benchmark Insurance Group of Texas, 281-569-4353. That's 281-569-4353. Or online at benchmarkbroker.com.
Taxes. Just the sound of that word makes people cringe. At Anderson Advisors, we provide tax reduction through asset protection for real estate investors throughout the country. Our unique philosophy has CPAs, lawyers, bookkeepers, and estate planners with one common goal, helping you, the real estate investor. Check us out today at andersonadvisors.com, and don't forget to tell us you heard about us at Right Path Real Estate.
Are you a realtor or seller that is concerned about the new TRID rules and closing on time? I'm Jennifer Hernandez, Senior Loan Officer at Legacy Mutual Mortgage, and we have mastered the 30-day close. We close on time, accurately, and with tons of communication. You'll have a dedicated team of a coordinator and a contract-to-close associate. Give me a call today at 713-579-3611, and let's talk about how we can help you on your next transaction. NMLS 514497.
Are you looking for an investor-friendly general contractor for your investment property? Then call Fast Track Remodeling at 832-742-9992 or reach us on the web at fasttrackremodeling.com.
Fast Track Remodeling specializes in turnkey remodeling of single-family investment properties, whether it's a flip, rehab, or a rental rehab. No more managing it yourself. No more doing the work yourself. Fast Track Remodeling really does manage it all.
So give us a call today at 832-742-9992.
30 seconds.
Hello, real estate investors. Do you need a lender that moves fast at the speed of a jet to fund your investment properties? Jet Lending will help you purchase properties quickly with as little cash out of pocket as possible. Jet Lending also sets up a repair escrow fund to help you with repair costs. Jet Lending is your fast and friendly hard money source for first-time investors and seasoned professionals. Call 281-872-7800 or email us at info@jetlending.com.
This is Business 1110.
All right, here we go. Hot mics.
Hey, welcome back. Right Path Real Estate Radio, 713-785-1817. You know, I hear a lot of people say that they really never want to be a landlord because they don't want to deal with tenants. They don't understand it. They don't want to, all these reasons. And I'm like, man, what you're saying is you want to say no before you really understand what it is to be saying no to the absolute best wealth building, retirement creating opportunity on the planet. And what I always recognize is that when people are making a decision in an absence or a vacuum of information, that's never a good thing. And so what I find is that oftentimes when people get more information, then their opinion about what their previous decision was changes pretty dramatically. And you can turn a no, I'm not interested in that into a yes. But I'm always fascinated when people say no to information. It just really means that you've got a closed mind. And I've never seen anyone that is successful have a closed mind. Now, I see that some people are predisposed to real estate, but when I look at the problems facing our country, and obviously I don't have the ability to solve all the country's problems, but one of the biggest problems that I see that people face is not going into retirement with enough assets to sustain a quality of life that should be experienced by people that are retiring. When an average person retires on less than $150,000 in savings, that's just not winning. And people could start much later than any other method or pathway to get to retirement. People could start later. You know, I remember when I was in my early 20s and I would see those calculations that if you started investing in, life insurance as an investment vehicle or stocks or bonds or whatever it was, based on your rate of return, the chances of doubling and then doubling, you hit millions of dollars really, really quick towards retirement age if you started earlier. But most people, it's too late for that. Take a look at real estate. It's the single best investing opportunity. Go to rightpathrealestate.com, register for our next free event. Don't say no to information. The information's free. I'll be at the Quest Expo coming up this weekend. I leave today at about 1 o'clock. I'll be there through Sunday. Come up and talk to me. Ask me questions. If you want to talk about construction, let's talk about that. If you want to talk about finding deals, funding deals, analyzing deals, any of those things, all the excuses that you can come up with for why it's not going to work for you are nothing more than that, just excuses. Grab a hold of your better future. Right Path Real Estate. Go to rightpathrealestate.com. We'll see you on Monday. Thanks, guys.
All right, Tom, Mike.